Shalom, shalom. Greetings to you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, wherever you are. Bless the Lord for such a great opportunity while we commune with our Father through His Word. Because we are created for intimacy, and there should be um, uh, there should be this connection between us and the one we are communing with. And so the word or the gospel creates that awareness, creates that environment while we know exactly what we should do and what we are doing and how we should commune and the reality of that communion, even the outcome of that communion. It's then important, brothers and sisters, to be able to commune with God through His Word. We are always blessed when we discover what we have. We have to understand that we are blessed, but you cannot feel blessed, see your blessings unless you get to know it. So the gospel creates the environment, the awareness, that wonderful atmosphere, or it brings revelation, and we know how much we are blessed and where we are, where we stand, and all that you find or you need to know in that communion or in that fellowship. The Bible is teaching us in 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 20. It says, "Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world?" So we try to explain the kind of the wisdom that was made foolish. And He's telling us it is the wisdom of the world. We have another version that will help us understand exactly what he's talking about here. It's called Barclay. It says, "Where is the clever debtor whose questions never looked beyond the horizons of this world?" So the one who's been talked about here is a person who does not see beyond the horizon of this world. So the wisdom of the world is confined in this physical realm. The wisdom of the world cannot go beyond this world. They cannot think beyond this world. And sometimes those who are confined in this finite realm or physical realm, and in their finite mind, you might be confused if you don't understand that there's, yes, that realm which is physical and which is seen or appealing to many, and there's also that part which is realm that they cannot see. But just because they cannot see, it doesn't mean it does not exist. It's not there. It is there. There is more to what you are able to see. There is more to what you are able to think about. So he says, these people who have probably done some research and who claim to know everything or a lot of things which they read, which they saw somewhere, it says that wisdom is the wisdom of the world because it's confined, it's limited here, and it does not go beyond the horizons of this world. It says, when Christ came, He made foolish, God made foolish the wisdom of the world. You see? And how do, and again, there's a version that says self-sufficient sages and rhetoricians have no standing in the presence of the divine wisdom, of which the cross is the symbol. You have to understand that back then, at the moment Paul was saying what he was saying, there was a culture at the moment. It's Greco-Roman culture, but which began with the Romans, with the Greeks, and they used to meet in certain places, and so they will learn to talk and argue, and so they would talk and argue and argue and argue. It was their daily practices and a routine. They would train small children or little children, especially boys, to learn how to talk, learn how to argue, to win an argument. It was their culture. You find it in the book of the Acts of Apostles in chapter 17. It will show you when, it will tell you when Paul went to Athens, the same thing was there. So they would argue, they would talk about this, talk about that. And so this version uses the word rhetoric because they were so careful with, the words they use. Art was taking shape, and even in that in that time, the athleticism, people were athletics, and there were stadiums and Olympics, and so people will keep themselves in shape, and also different arts. There were a lot of things that were going on, and so people who seem to invent or do what who are doing all these things were considered as wise people. They were considered as wise people. And if someone can be so smart in what he does to the extent that you think that what he doesn't know does not exist, or whatever he does not understand, or whatever he attacks, or he speaks, when he speaks evil against something which he does not understand, you intend to believe that it is true because of how smart he is in a certain area. So, put all this into context. You realize what was going on. Paul is saying, well, he made the wisdom of this world foolishness because there were wise men at the moment. And of course, wisdom has increased even up to now because of technology, research, and so forth. It's not new. It has only increased, and the pride of man increased as well. So the same, this is just amazing. Again, it's a self-sufficient sages and rhetoricians. And rhetoricians were those. This is rhetoric. Rhetoric is a way of communicating. These were people who are learning literature, and so they knew how to talk, in a very smart way, and they were so, and they take pride in that, because surprise, you will find that generally what people do in life, when they are able to do whatever they do in a good way, they always think nobody else in the world that is better than them, and so they take pride many times, and again, they are not talking about what they do specifically. No, they think they are the best in the world, even in all other areas. They forget that they know little compared to what they are supposed to know, even in what they are doing, leave alone what other areas in life. So again, pride is based on ignorance and blindness. You cannot see or have the ability to see as you're supposed to, and say like this. So Paul was trying to tell them, well, so you think you are wise, and your wisdom is so limited. It's very, very limited, So, but he says, the presence of the divine wisdom of which the cross is the symbol. He says, now you don't understand the presence of the divine wisdom, which the cross symbolizes. Because they saw the cross and they never understood the wisdom that was hidden in this symbol of the cross. They never understood that the cross was the end of man. They couldn't see it because they cannot see beyond the horizon of the wisdom of the world. How could you see on the cross like Paul saw, and he saw the whole world crucified on the same cross? That takes the ability to see beyond. That's why the word wisdom is Sophia. That means to see beyond the physical realm, to see beyond the walls of limitations. So you have the ability to see beyond the walls. You see what I mean? It's so important. You can see beyond the walls. So imagine that Paul would look at the cross and saw the whole world dying. But these people saw the cross and never understood. And guess what? Even many believers do not understand. When they look at the cross, they are looking at a symbol that symbolizes whatever they want to imagine, but they don't see exactly what was there, or what Paul teaches us or reveals us, or what Paul saw. So it takes the wisdom of God. So the wisdom of God goes beyond this realm. That's what I want to say. It goes beyond the horizon of this world. And they could not see the symbol of the cross. When people talk about the cross, what comes in your mind? When you hear about the cross, what comes in your mind? What comes in your mind when you hear the cross? What goes through your mind? Do you really understand the riches of glory that are hidden in the cross? And he says wisdom. This wisdom goes beyond this ordinary wisdom, the wisdom of men, the wisdom that do not go beyond the horizon of this realm. But God is calling us to understand that there's such a thing as the wisdom of God. And it will make you so unique and special. You realize, oh my God, so this does exist as well? Yeah, the wisdom of God. And God is inviting us into the revelation of the wisdom of God as we go beyond what we have come to know and walk with Him in this higher wisdom. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Shalom, shalom.